Overflows.
Understanding Intimacy, the Beginning. Insights into Life, Love and Light by Nivedita. The very purpose of relating is evolution and growth, both inner and outer. Through relating, a bond is created, the bond of intimacy. Intimacy, therefore, is the art of trusting oneself through trusting the other. Trust in oneself is the cornerstone of growth in life. One cannot grow and progress unless one begins to trust one's own capabilities. In psychology, it is known as self-actualization. The moment you begin to trust someone deeply, your trust in yourself also begins to grow. Deeper your trust grows into someone to whom you interact intimately, in the same proportion your intimacy grows in you, and you develop an unimaginable yet unexplainable bond as trust with your innerness. Intimacy means you need someone you can trust and open up your wounds. Intimacy is the journey from outer to inner. It begins with two lovers deeply in tune with each other, dissolve, and there remains only oneness. Only one exists. Both breathe together. They are together. A togetherness exists. This would not be possible if there were observers. They would never be able to let go if the others were watching. The very eye of others would become the barrier. So all that is beautiful, all that is deep happens in darkness. In ordinary human relationship, privacy is needed. And when you ask about the relationship of a master and disciple, even more privacy is needed, because it is the transmission of the highest energy possible to man. It is the highest peak of love, where one pours himself into another and the other becomes a receptive womb. Even a slightest disturbance, somebody watching, will be enough of a barrier. Of many fears, the one of which most remain aware is that of intimacy. Man remains like a hit and run driver. Man remains a hit and run like driver in relationships with people. The journey of intimacy begins at physical level, then moves to emotional one. Once your relationship is fulfilled emotionally, emotional maturity comes, emotional intelligence grows. This rarely happens. Physical intimacy must lead to emotional maturity. You see couples emotionally immature. Without emotional maturity, intellectual maturity is meaningless. In the absence, it remains like plastic flowers on the tree. But everyone is afraid of intimacy. It is another thing whether you are aware of it or not. Intimacy means exposing yourself before a stranger. Intimacy means exposing yourself before a stranger. We are all strangers. Nobody knows anybody. However, we are bound to each other by a causeless force. But even in our male-female relationships, both remain as strangers. We are even strangers to ourselves because we do not know who we are. Intimacy brings you close to a stranger. You have to drop all your defenses first to begin the journey of intimacy. Only then is intimacy possible. And the fear is that if you drop all your defenses, all your masks, who knows what the stranger is going to do with you. We are all hiding 1,001 things, not only from others, but from ourselves as well. Remember, we have been brought up by a sick humanity with all kinds of repressions, inhibitions, conditionings, and taboos. The fear is that with somebody with who you may have lived for 30, 40, or 50 years, the strangeness never disappears. I repeat it again. The fear is that with someone with who you may have lived for 30, 40, or 50 years, the strangeness never disappears, and it feels safer to keep a little defense, a little distance, because somebody can take advantage of your weakness, frailties, and your vulnerability. Therefore, everyone is afraid of intimacy. The problem becomes even more complicated because everybody wants intimacy. Everyone wants intimacy because otherwise you are alone in this universe without a friend, without a lover, without anyone you can trust, without anybody to whom you can open all your wounds. And the wounds can heal only when they are left open. The more you hide them, the more dangerous they become. They even become cancerous. Intimacy is an essential need on one hand, so everybody longs for it. But each wants the other person to show signs of intimacy first. This is the problem. The other person should drop his defenses, become vulnerable, open all his wounds, drop all his masks and false personality, and stand naked as he is. Only then you can begin the process. So everyone in a relationship is expecting that. And on the other hand, everybody is afraid of intimacy with the other person you want to be intimate with. You are not dropping your defenses. You want to be vulnerable. You want to develop intimacy, but you do not want to drop your defenses. This is one of the conflict between friends and between lovers. Nobody wants to drop his defenses, and nobody wants to come in utter nudity and sincerity, open and both need intimacy. Unless you drop your repressions, inhibitions, which are the gift of your religious upbringing, your culture, your societies, your parents, and your education, you will never be able to be intimate with someone. But you will have to take the initiative. But if you do not have any repression, any inhibition, you don't have any wounds either. If you have lived a simple, natural life, there will be no fear of intimacy, but tremendous joy of two flames coming so close that they become almost one flame. The meeting is tremendously gratifying, satisfying, and fulfilling. But before you can attempt intimacy, you will have to clean your house completely. Only a man of meditation can allow intimacy to happen. He has nothing to hide. All that he was afraid somebody might come to know, he himself had dropped it. He has only a silence and a loving heart. You have to accept yourself totally. If you cannot accept yourself in your totality, how can you expect somebody else to accept you? And you have been condemned by everybody, and you have learned only one thing: self-condemnation. You go on hiding. It is not something beautiful to show to others. You know ugly things are hidden in you. You know evil things are hidden in you. You know animality is hidden in you. Unless you transform your attitude and accept yourself as one of the animals in existence. The word animal is not bad. It simply means alive. The word animal comes from anima. Whoever is alive is an animal. But man has been taught, you are not animals. Animals are far below you. You are human beings. You have been given a false superiority. The truth is, existence does not believe in superior and the inferior. To existence, everyone is equal: the trees, the birds, the animals, the human beings. In existence, everything is absolutely accepted as it is. There is no condemnation. Everything sentient and insentient in the process of evolution and growth is accepted in its ultimate totality. Enough for now.